A lot of people don't know how expensive it is to run a business or realize how much it costs and how many things that you have to buy on a daily basis. So let's talk about what I've spent just so far this week from Monday to Wednesday. I have a list on my phone of everything I've bought since Monday, so let's get into it. I'm gonna break it up by day and tell you the amount I've spent per day and on what, and then tell you the grand total at the end. A couple of these things that I considered Monday were actually bought over the weekend, but they didn't come out until Monday, so I'm still considering it Monday. So starting off on Monday, I bought boba for $139.69. I paid my Webstaurant subscription for $99. That's where I get my purees and my marshmallow fluff. I did pay $250 to get my menu redesigned. I could have done it myself, but at this point I would have rather just had someone do it who is better at that stuff than I am, because it saves me the time. So I did pay $250 for that. We have been flying through marshmallow fluff and actually ran out of the stuff that we normally get, so I did have to run to the store and I bought other fluff for $2.53. On Amazon, I spent $468.10. About $400 of that was the deep freeze that I had to buy for the Dippin' Dots. I spent $330 on cotton candy Alani. You guys know that we've been going through that like crazy. I spent $9.44 at Walmart on some lunches for me for this week, which brings the total for Monday to $1,298.76. So let's move on to Tuesday. Tuesday is the least amount I've spent out of the last 3 days, but it's still up there. So on Amazon, I spent $113.84. I do buy my straws from Amazon just because they're the colorful ones. And then we are doing the fishbowl drink for June, and so that's where I've also been buying my fishbowl drinks. So lots of Amazon purchases this month. I paid $66 for my trash bill. Some of our syrups are still Torani, our blood orange, grapefruit, and then our sugar-free syrups are still Torani. So I spent $77.65 on Torani. I bought more purees and more marshmallow fluff on Webstaurant, so that was $144.10. I spent $26.88 at Kroger, which was again more marshmallow fluff because we ran out of what we like to use. I spent another $504 on our Alani delivery yesterday, which brings the total for Tuesday, yesterday, to $932.47. And if you thought the last 2 days were expensive, let's jump into today, which is Wednesday. I spent $15.35 at Walmart. I just had some small things to buy, like half and half coconut cream, stuff like that. I did place a big t-shirt order that I took pre-orders for the shop. They're just Downtown Fizz shirts. And I spent $444.14 on those. And yesterday I bought some new checks for $66.95. I did have to pay Clover, which is my POS system, $164.90. And my payroll came out today, which is the kicker here, which was $1,744.39, which brings the total for today to $2,435.73, making the grand total between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week to $4,666.96. And yes, that does sound like a lot of money, but once again, when you own a business, a lot of people do not realize the amount of things that you have to buy. I always hear you have to spend money to make money, and that is so beyond true. So if you own a business, if you're looking to own a business, just be prepared for how much money that you have to spend in order to make it back and then make a profit.